You have very deep links to this country, obviously, not just through Akshata, but your in-laws as well. Could you tell us a little bit about those linkages which have been so important for you in your life and how you've balanced those with, being a British Prime Minister?
Well, first of all, good evening, and good evening to everyone. It's a great pleasure to be with you all.
Mr. Sunak, I'm half convinced if you fight an election somewhere in India, there's a good chance you may win.
There's no danger of that, don't worry, Rahul. I'm perfectly happy in the UK Parliament. Look, India means an enormous amount to me, but it also means a lot to the UK. I think our two countries are inextricably linked by ties of history, of culture, of family, and increasingly economically as well. But for me, my story, I'm of Indian heritage. My family came to the UK from India via East Africa, and I was raised with my Hindu faith being a very important part of my upbringing. And that's why when I first became a member of Parliament, I took my oath of office on the Bhagavad Gita, and I always had in Downing Street, both as Chancellor and as Prime Minister, a little Ganesha on my desk in Downing Street. And even now when I'm back visiting my parents at home, I'll visit the mandir where I grew up. But you touched on it in your introduction. Then I also met my wife, Akshata, who is of course Indian. And even though she's South Indian and I'm Hindu Punjabi, so there was some learning to do on both sides. Although thankfully not as dramatic as that movie Two States, which I thought was, on reflection, a good thing. But I didn't know Bangalore. I mean, I came to India, but I didn't know Bangalore, which is a city that I now have a most close connection with through her, and of course my in-laws. And I think, at least I think
they're over here.
Yeah, they were
right
somewhere here, I hope. There they are. There's Narayan with my in-law. I don't know where my mother-in-law is if she's here.
Right behind Mr. Murthy.
Oh, she is. Both of them are there. There they are. And these two, obviously, then coming here as family rather than almost different when you're a tourist is very different. And they are both wonderful, not just grandparents to our two young girls. But you asked about the links politically. They were also very helpful in all my election campaigns. Because, well, they would come. They would put on my hoodies that we have with my name on it, and they would just go and knock on doors, deliver the leaflets, collect the voting instructions, and they've done that on all the elections, which has been very helpful. But actually, the most important thing that they have done for me is ensure that I've fallen in love with RCB. Yes. And that, I think earlier this year, I was very fortunate to go to Ahmedabad with Akshata to see the IPL final. Salakap Namdu, I'll just put that on the record. So RCB fans here. But actually, I'll finish on this, because that, maybe this will be better. Yeah, I think actually being at that final really struck me, because I went down to see the team afterwards and to celebrate. And actually, there were so many Brits there. So Phil Salt, Liam Livingston, playing in the team. Jacob Bethel had been there earlier in the year, and Mo Bobat is the director of cricket. And it demonstrated those close links between our two countries. But then also, if you think of British cars, you think Jaguar, you think Land Rover, of course, made in the UK, but now owned by a great Indian company in Tata. So it's a sign of the increasing bond between our two nations.